Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the crypto trading channel, where in today's video I'm going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, and Avalanche. Four of my picks that I like to look at quite frequently because they do show us the overall glimpse of the market in somewhat different sectors. Metaverse is another sector I do like to cover, but I will do that in the next video. So if you want to check out what I'm going to talk about in the future, if you want to learn a little bit about the market and especially technicals, well, make sure you follow the channel, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a like, and drop a comment down below if you want to ask me a question. Now let's get right into it, starting off with Ethereum this time because, you know, I find the price action a little bit more interesting than Bitcoin at this point. I'm also going to show you an Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart near the end of the video, so stick around for that because that's something that not a lot of people know how to look at. Now, first and foremost, what I like to do when doing my technicals, and you know, I could have done this before the video, but I prefer to do it live so that you guys can see exactly how I make my decisions. The first thing that I do is obviously plot out my zones of support and resistance, which we can see a few quite significant ones of right here. First of all, around the $2,000 level, significant zone because it is a round number as well. A lot of people will be inclined to short or even buy if the zone is acting as a resistance, or, you know, buy in the case that the zone is acting as a support at some point potentially in the future. And that's what I do at the start. So support and resistance, very important terms. Now, Ethereum has hit somewhat of a bottom around the $1,000 level, but it seems like we do have some bearish pressure coming in once again around the $2,000 level. Now, this makes perfect sense because Powell just announced today that they will likely keep hiking rates for the foreseeable future, which means that the market technically should be going down and there will be no pricing in of a bull run anytime soon. This goes with what I talked about on the last video, so if you want to check that out, you can do it as well. But when it comes to Ethereum, a very important thing you guys have to notice is the fact that it is looking quite bearish right now, same as Bitcoin is as well. So leave your bull run fantasies for some other day, because on this channel we're here only to not to predict the market, we're here to react to what the market is giving us. So on the higher time frames, we do see a strong resistance form around the $2,000 level. If we know that rate hikes are going to continue coming up, that is a good fundamental confirmation that there will be somewhat of a bearish move when it comes to Ethereum's price action. Now, this is the end of the trading week, so we can expect some lower volume when it comes to the next few days. But what we can see right now is a zone of support right here on the 4-hour time frame being broken out of, with the first short-term target being around the 1358 level, and the second one obviously being all the way around the $1,000 mark. Now, it makes sense that Ethereum will move down. As I said, rate hikes are still going on. The market will be bearish, or, you know, at least it is inclined to be bearish, since obviously I'm not a financial advisor. You should not listen to anything I say. I'm just here to help you out with your technicals. But, you know, you can also draw a few trend lines if you want to do that. But, you know, for me, personally, fundamentals are the thing to go with, especially when it comes to these days where news introduces a lot of volatility into the market, making it very, very important. So Ethereum at this point, quite bearish. We're looking at the first target right here, second target around the $1,000 mark. Now let's move up to Bitcoin as the, you know, largest player in the crypto game. In the last video, I did say that if we do have a daily close below this 20k level, it could signify a bearish move all the way down into the 10k level potentially. Now, what we're seeing right now is the daily candle is going to be closing in about 2 hours from now. So if it does stay just like it is right now, it is probably signifying a further move towards the downside, as you know, followed by Powell's speech where he said that he will continue hiking rates for the foreseeable future. So if you guys don't know who Jerome Powell is, make sure to Google it. It's J Powell, you know what I mean? Everybody knows who J Powell is. It's the head of the Fed in the United States of America, which is their central bank, which makes basically all of the main decisions around the world, and the market really likes to follow through with what he says. So Bitcoin, once again, bearish if we do close at this point, but in the case that we do see some volume coming in on Monday, some nice bullish news flow or something, we could even see a move up back into the 30k mark, find a resistance at that point, and then swivel all the way down into the 10 or 13k level. All of them seem quite reasonable. So you could plot a trend line, you could do whatever you want, but it all coincides with a further downfall towards more downside. Now, before we move on to the next few coins, let's take a quick look coin market cap. We can see that Bitcoin is obviously still the first. Ethereum dominance is increasing. Believe it or not, it is almost half as dominant as, actually it is exactly half as dominant as Bitcoin is. So that's a pretty interesting fact that you guys should know. BNB is still up there, XRP, Ripple is still up there, Binance Coin as well, Cardano, Solana, Dogecoin somehow keeping the 10th spot, and Shiba Inu, the 2 hype coins of the century, are still up there. Now Polkadot, it's keeping its cool around the 11th spot, $8 billion invested into this coin. And if you take a look at Polkadot real quick and plot a few lines, we will notice that it is also looking actually a little bit less bearish than what Ethereum is at this point. So what we can see is a zone of support around this area where we did see the previous all-time high form back in 2020 August. Right now we're seeing a nice bottom form at that area and something that may look like a head and shoulders pattern. However, this is not a complete pattern. By the way, when I plot my things, I like to have at least 3 confirmations in the case of, confirming a trend line or a zone of support or a zone of resistance or a head and shoulders pattern. But currently we only have 2 confirmations. So only in the case that we do move up and create a slight resistance right here, make a pullback and then break out, that's the only case where I will be bullish on Polkadot. But currently we are still looking bearish and we are breaking out of another correction pattern right about here, potentially moving back down into this $6.2 level. And potentially, if Bitcoin keeps going down, we could move into the $4.7 level when it comes to Polkadot. Now, lastly, what I wanted to talk about is Avalanche or AVAX, one of the largest growers of this past year. We can see that back actually of last year, from July of 2021, from a price of $10, it went all the way up to the $130 level. Absolutely crazy growth. It is currently around the $20 mark, so it could represent some good dollar cost averaging opportunities if you wait for it at the right spot at the right time. So we can see somewhat of a support around this area, or maybe even around this double bottom at the $10 level. And currently, once again, we are looking quite bearish because we did break out of a nice reversal pattern. So this is a coin that I will keep in my watch list for some potential short opportunities in the short term. Now, obviously, as I said at the start of the video, this is the end of the trading week. We could expect some lower volatility during the weekend, but once market opens on Monday, we could see some big moves happening. Now, one more thing that you guys have to keep in mind is that it is almost the end of the month. Last trading week of the month, last few days of the month are always a little bit more sketchy than trading usually, so make sure to be careful while you're trading. Now, lastly, as I said before, I'm not a financial advisor and you should do your own due diligence before investing into anything in the crypto or NFT world. And without further ado, I'm going to end it right here. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check out the previous videos, and let's get this party going. Adios.